you think is going to empower you. And
Yeah.
that's the weirdness of it all.
I think you're right that we become parasited. I know you admire Terence McKenna. His famous thing, the culture is not your friend.
Yes.
The culture isn't your friend. And it feels like, that many of us have been parasited in our minds, that we are on rails, parroting and citing views that are not ours,
Yes.
that we don't know how that opinion got in there. And this is why the individual does have power. I've always found it hard to hold, Joe, the simultaneous facts that I am infinitesimally small and my reality is irrelevant on the cosmic scale, but at the same time, all reality takes place only in my consciousness, as far as I can tell. So I am creating all reality. I am ultimately omniscient as far as my own individual reality is concerned. And I feel that there has to be the introduction of sort of spiritual or maybe even psychedelic values into this conversation so that we can diffuse this cultural tension that is continually being stoked. Because as long as people are willing to go at a mat on cultural issues rather than saying, this has been complicated. A country like America has a complicated history. Definitely people have been disadvantaged. Definitely there have been biases and prejudices in a particular direction. If there is the facility to alter that, that could be done. But the best way to do it is not centralized top-down imposition of authority. I suppose one of the other tensions is if you have small state, what regulates corporate power? Those are there are big questions that once you sort of say, this don't work no more, I want something different.
So what does work?
Yeah, you are confronted with, how do you do that? How do you regulate behemoths like Apple and these new titans that put the steel and energy giants of a century ago in the shadows with their might and again with their, as you cited earlier, their ability to create exploitation and something akin to slavery in the modern world. Forget historic slavery. What is the collective force that opposes that? And I can't help but feel that this technology, if we were released of the need for relentless progressivism and advancement only in order to fuel endless consuming, that this technology could be used to create more democracy, more freedom, more ability to interact in how your community is run. If not the kind of universal credit society and the kind of atrophy that suggests and the kind of apathy that suggests and the disconnection that suggests, some more leisurely form of awakened, technologically advanced, leisure-led society where people have more time to create truly reflective culture, where the kind of the tropes that are used in the conversation around diversity of genuinely different cultures cohabit in a genuine and real melting pot where you accept that people eat different food, have different sex lives, have different beliefs, that is a possibility. I suppose that in a way, the amount of authority that was asserted during the pandemic, the amount of effort that's put into censoring mainstream narratives, the amount of effort that's put into creating terms, new language to control, smear and censor opposing voices, suggests that they consider it a legitimate threat that alternative views could take hold, that new alliances could take place, that people would consider different ways of being. There's a brilliant philosopher, he's dead now, Mark Fisher, he was of the left. He coined the term capitalist realism, that we have been taught that this is the only model of reality there is. People find it easier to envisage the end of the world than the end of capitalism, that there could be a new economic system that we could live within. And we all know now that capitalism as it was intended doesn't exist anymore anyway, certainly not after what happened in 2008. Simple, I make this thing, trading, it growing, ingenuity, entrepreneurship. It's such a cronyist, supporting energy companies, supplementing them, ensuring that they make profits when how can you have energy companies that profit when there's an energy crisis, military industrial complex that profits when it's a war, pharmaceutical companies that profit when there's a pandemic? You're creating the necessity for ongoing crisis.
Yes.
If the elites in a society benefit from situations that are detrimental to everybody else, that's what reality is going to become. That's what reality has become.
That's such an important point.